Hey team, it's $1.48. What? It's day 48. It's day 49. It's $1.49. It's day 49 of 100 Days of Making Comics. I am Gazbot, and the comic I am working on is, of course, the Horror A4, my independent kaiju comic. Kaiju like giant monster Godzilla style. Now, I'm working on issue 2. Issue 1 is done. It was begun with the first round of 100 making, and now we're in the second round of 100 making. 100 days in a row where I spend at least 30 minutes a day, every day, weekends, vacations, sickness, sadness, rain, snow, sleet, the postman, Waterworld, Dances with Wolves, regardless, 30 minutes. So today I've done my 30 minutes, probably more like 45 minutes, and I will show you in a little bit what I did. Nothing super exciting. Worked on a panel of roughs. I was doing some math, and tomorrow will be day 50, and that means I will have spent 50 days on a road. Now, the last time I did it, I was putting in a lot more hours. It's weird because it's easier this time because it's not at all difficult to force myself to sit down and put some time into it. Last time, it was a new thing, but I've been doing that a lot. I've been making videos a lot, so the framework of it has been becoming a lot easier, but adding more than that 30 minutes has been harder because I picked to do this at the busiest time of year for me, and the busiest summer I've ever had maybe in my life, since I was a kid at least, in terms of going on vacations, having people visit, going to cons to sell, going far away to cons to sell. Just everything that could possibly happen in my life has been happening this summer, all one on top of the other, and so I've decided to do it anyway, and I'm glad I did, because I've said before I've made more progress than I would have. But realistically, I have spent between half hour and an hour total. There was no days where I'm like, I did 6 hours, Now, I hope that'll change. It might not. That's the nature of the beast, and the fact if I'm getting 30 minutes a day, that again, that's still better than nothing. So let's assume I only did a half-hour day each day, which is not that far off. It's possible, a little bit more, but let's say that. So that means I got 25 hours done by tomorrow. 25 hours. Let's knock it down to 24 to make it easy. That means 3 8-hour days. As if this was my full-time job, it'd be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And when I realized that that's what I've gotten done in what is actually, a month and a half, that's kind of a bummer. It's, I was like, oh man, I've been working on this for a month and a half and I got about 3 full days of work done. But I console myself a bit, and this is something that others might find when they do the challenge or similar challenges, is that it's much more concentrated than a normal 8-hour workday, because a normal 8-hour workday, you take a bathroom break, you get a soda, you talk to your buddy, you pick up the phone, whatever. When I do 30 minutes or however long, it's exactly that. If I have to stop, I pause it. So an 8-hour workday, I feel like, I think it's generous to say you're doing 7 and 7.5 hours of work concentrated. I think most people it's even less than that. But so I'm like, well, maybe I got a week done. If I'm being generous with myself, maybe I've got a full week, which still is not a lot. But when I think of the work I did, I had the script done, and that's it. I went through, I thumbnailed the whole thing, I did a few new designs, and now I'm roughing through, and I've roughed through almost 6 pages. But again, that's not a lot, but if I think about it, it's only been a few days. It's a weird thing where, I've only done a few days of work. That sounds terrible. But that also explains why I haven't gotten a lot done. Because for a few days of work, I have got a lot done. It's just when I put that few days in the scope of a month and a half, it's depressing. It's depressing, and I laugh in the face of depression. So, a needle pulling thread, me, a note that follows so. Remember that song? No, I don't know. It was like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Tangent! Coming back! So what does make me feel better, given the progress or lack thereof that I've made, is, and I've talked about this before, but I'm sort of at a regrouping period since I'm almost at the halfway point, that the work I'm doing, while I'm getting less time in, I feel like it's a lot more productive than the first time around. I feel like, I was probably further along by this point than I was now, but I put in way more hours. And I'm almost skipping a step, as I said before. I had done sort of thumbnails, and then roughs, and then I did pencils, and then inks. And I don't know that I could definitely skip from this phase right to inks, but I certainly won't need to do as much work as I did last time. So that makes me feel a little better. Tomorrow's the 50th. I was thinking I'd like to do something special, but I probably won't, to be honest, because it's just another day and I got other stuff to do. Today, I finished up my last corporate caricature that I had on my plate, and then I got some revisions on one of them, which I made, so theoretically that's done now. I mean, I haven't got final approval. All the other jobs I talked about, which are all like 90% definite, pretty much definite, haven't received a deposit from any of them. So that means they're not happening until I get the deposit, obviously, which is both good and bad, because that means I'll have more time tomorrow. And, maybe I will be able to put more than a half hour in. Unfortunately, I have a lot of real life stuff I have to do as well. And I'm like, oh, I can catch up on all my real life stuff since I don't have work to do. And I want to treat my free time as, you know, the harder is my job, which I did a lot better the first time around, strangely enough. But I feel like I'm trying to take less client work, but I can't turn away all work because I want to have a little bit of money coming in, you know. And I'm rambling. This is a ramble bamble. This is what happens when I do the daily videos. When I was updating once every week or two, I could sort of consolidate my thoughts and do a couple of updates here and there, and then have a nice little speech at the end summing everything up for the most part. Some rambling in there too. But when it's every day, I'm like, what's going on today? Some days not a lot. Some days I have a half-cooked thought that I'm kind of trying to cook on air with you, but I am not Emerald. I am not Julia Childs. I am not Gordon Ramsay. I am not Elgar from Futurama. Those are all the chefs I could think of. I'm just a guy and trying to do my best in the 100 Days of Making Comics world. I'm going to end this. I apologize that it's not more fascinating, but I'm going to cut to show you what I did, and then we're going to be done.
So here's what we got going on. As I said, I spent a bit over a half hour, maybe it was 45 minutes. After a half hour, I stopped counting, doing this. Now I had the roughs. I actually have a rough of Boots, and I started Koji here, but kind of similar to when I was talking about doing the Stansport tube up here, I found that I needed to just draw the whole background and then start populating it. So I put in the perspective. I have a horizon line down here, but that's not the one I was using. I was using this one up here, actually. And pretty much everything I drew in perspective. I kind of fudged it a little bit on some of the chairs because they're sort of curved surfaces, which I always have a hard time with, so I just fake it. But basically, I need to go in and put in Koji, Boots and Koji and the other people, and then put a little shading in, and I can be done with this. But you could see why I had been working on this page, and I'd been avoiding this one, because I just knew it was going to be a hard thing to do. Now, these were hard as well, but I had already drawn these a few times, whereas this is the inside of the old age home, the retirement home, the nursing home, whatever you want to call it, and I've only drawn it a few times from different weird angles, and so I was trying to, yeah, I'm kind of creating it at the same time, so I knew it would take a little longer. But anyway, I'll probably finish that up tomorrow and then start on this panel, which is essentially a wider shot of this. So it'll be difficult, but I know what I have to draw at least. And that's where I'm at for that. And this was the final corporate character. The person was a drummer. I had a good time putting all the bams and blams on there. Kind of more cartoony than normal, a little bit of Batman, the 60s version. And the big white drum, the bass drum, would normally, well, it doesn't have to have an image, but, you know, it's more fun to put an image there. And I put the corporate logo, which of course I've removed so you can't see it, and I'm covering up his face. But I also did that today.
And there you have it, day 49. Sorry it couldn't be more exciting, but not every day could be Power Morphicon. Not every day could be Santa Cruz. Not every day could be Chicago. Not every day could be, you know, me taking out the trash. Which I could have filmed today, I suppose. I did take out the trash. But today is over. Today was over a little while ago, because we're after midnight. We're after midnight. It was day 49. We're already into day 50. But not really, because tomorrow's day 50. Today's day 49. And if today is day 49, well then, you know what that means, my friends.
Was ist das? It seems... Oh, it seems we have 51 days left.
I did like 4 accents in one sentence there. Anyway, 51 days left. See you later, friends. I totally lost my train of thought.